Lady Gaga and her engagement to Michael Polansky.
Interesting.
Yeah, so we've got this InStyle article about it, and it's really something else.
Oh, yeah. How so?
Well, it turns out that Lady Gaga actually kind of inspired the whole proposal herself.
Really?
Yeah, she was at this Spotify event talking about her new album, Mayhem.
Mm-hmm.
And she mentioned that one of the songs on there, Blade of Grass, is like directly related to how Polansky proposed.
Wow, that's so cool. I mean, that's got to be pretty special to have a song written about your proposal.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, can you imagine like having that kind of connection with someone where you can like inspire a song and a proposal like that?
Yeah, that's real love right there.
It really is. And what's even crazier is that Polansky actually took her suggestion like to heart.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah, so the article says that he used green bands when he proposed and even incorporated like a grass-like element into the ring itself.
Huh? That's fascinating. I mean, a blade of grass, it's such a simple thing, but it's also so full of meaning, you know?
Right. What do you think? Like, what kind of symbolism do you see there?
Well, I mean, I think a blade of grass, it can represent growth resilience. You know, the ability to thrive, even in like tough situations.
Yeah.
It's about being connected to nature, being grounded. And maybe, you know, maybe those are qualities that they see in their relationship.
It makes you think, right? Like, it's not about all the glitz and glam. It's about something much deeper.
Exactly. And it really challenges those traditional ideas of what a proposal is supposed to be.
Yeah. You know, speaking of challenging traditions, the article also mentioned that Gaga told Jimmy Kimmel she kind of wanted to elope and just get Chinese food afterwards.
Oh, wow. Really? That's hilarious.
I know, right? It's so funny coming from her. Like, you got Lady Gaga, the queen of extravagance, and then she's like, oh, I just want to elope and eat Chinese food.
Yeah. It's like we're seeing this whole other side of her, you know?
Totally. And then there's this other detail that really caught my eye. Polansky actually proposed after Gaga's birthday.
Oh, interesting. So she was probably thinking like, oh, maybe he's not going to propose.
Right. And then bam, he pops the question.
Wow, what a twist.
I know, but here's the kicker. Before he actually asked her to marry him, he asked her permission.
Wait, what?
Yeah, he literally said, is it okay if I ask you to marry you?
Oh my gosh, that is so sweet and respectful.
I know, right? It's like he's really making sure she's fully on board.
Yeah, it shows a lot of consideration, especially in such a big moment.
It really does. And it makes you think about like how relationships are evolving, you know?
Absolutely. It's not just about the big gesture anymore. It's about making sure both people are truly happy and respected.
And that's something worth celebrating for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really does kind of flip the script on that whole surprise thing, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like instead of just assuming he knows what she wants, he's like actually checking in with her, making sure they're both on the same page. And it, you know, honestly, I feel like that's way more like how relationships actually work these days.
Definitely. Yeah, it's like they're building this like partnership based on, you know,
Yeah.
mutual respect and understanding.
Yeah, right, from the very beginning.
And even when it comes to something as big as like getting married.
Yeah, and you know, thinking about Gaga's other relationships, it really seems like she's found someone who really gets her, you know?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we've seen her go through some pretty public relationships in the past.
Yeah.
Often with guys who fit that like classic bad boy image.
Right.
But with Polansky, it just feels different. There's this sense of stability.
Yeah.
Like they share the same values, you know?
Totally. And speaking of shared values, did you see that part in the article about Polansky being a huge rock climbing fan?
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
I think it said he actually proposed like right after they went climbing together.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a cool detail.
It's kind of like a small thing, but I feel like it says a lot, you know?
Totally rock climbing. It requires so much trust and communication.
Right.
And like supporting each other through tough moments.
Yeah.
It really feels symbolic of their whole relationship.
That's such a good point. It's like they're not just climbing mountains together, literally, but like figuratively too, as a couple.
Exactly. And the fact that he chose that moment to propose
Yeah.
after they shared that, you know, challenging but rewarding experience together, it just reinforces that idea of their relationship being built on a really solid foundation.
It really is inspiring that, you know, they're not afraid to do things their own way and create a relationship that's unique to them.
Right.
Like from that unconventional proposal request
Yeah.
to the symbolic ring to the whole rock climbing backdrop.
Yeah.
It all just points to a love story that's like authentic and really personal.
It's like a breath of fresh air, honestly.
Yeah.
Especially in a world where it's so easy to get caught up in trying to fit in, you know,
Totally.
or compare ourselves to what we see on social media and stuff. Gaga and Polansky's story, it encourages us to embrace being different
Yeah.
and to like prioritize what really matters in our own relationships.
I love that instead of asking what's the perfect proposal, we should be asking what kind of relationship do we want to build?
Exactly. That's such a more meaningful question.
For sure.
And it's empowering too,
Yeah.
right? Because at the end of the day,
Yeah.
it's that connection and those shared values that form the foundation of any lasting relationship.
Couldn't agree more so as we wrap up our deep dive into Lady Gaga and Michael Polansky's engagement. I have one final thought for you to ponder. How do you think this story changes how we think about romance? You know, does it make you rethink what a proposal can be?
For sure, it's like a reminder that there's no right way to do love and commitment. You know,
Yeah,
it's about finding what feels real and important for you and the person you're with.
absolutely. And you know, it makes me think about how much we get caught up in those like fairy tale expectations.
Oh yeah, totally.
You know, like the huge gestures, the
Yeah.
perfect moments for Instagram. But maybe like real romance is more about those little things that make your love story special.
Yeah, I think so. It's those inside jokes,
Uh-huh.
those moments when you just get each other.
Yeah,
And it's about having the guts to build a relationship that shows who you really are.
right. Instead of trying to be like everyone else.
Exactly.
Well said. I think that's a perfect way to wrap things up.
Yeah. It's been so great chatting with you about this.
Me too. It's always fun to dive into these unique love stories and see what we can learn.
Definitely.
So to everyone listening, we hope this deep dive has given you some new things to think about when it comes to love and relationships and being yourself.
Thanks for joining us.
And until next time, stay curious.